Hey everybody, Brother Winterlick here, doing Brad just played two games this week. It's one's Star Wars and the other one's Pokemon. And I wonder if you want me to do Death Stranding. I might do Death Stranding later on if I get a chance because that also sounds interesting because it was by the guy that made Metal Gear Solid, and he did a good job of this game. He also did Horizon Zero Dawn, and I have never played that game, so I don't know. I'm not a big Hiro Kojima fan or something like that. Oh, that was his name, Hiro Kojima. I mean, I know he's a good guy, and I know he's a good video game designer. I just never played any of his games. So, yeah, I'm not a bad person or anything. I just didn't play his games. So, oh, right. Pokemon. Yeah, in Pokemon, I got Pokemon Sword and Star Wars for $22 because I pre-ordered both of them at GameStop and they both came out on the same day, so I had like two games to buy, so I was getting kind of worried. And yeah, I traded in like 10 games from GameStop, and I had like a gift card for like $50, but I used it for one game, so it was like $22. So I got both games for like I had to pay like $22 for two games instead of one, so that was kind of lucky for me. So yeah, I'm actually kind of glad I got the both copies. And right, Pokemon Sword. This was a very different kind of Pokemon game. For one, it takes place in like a Galar region, which I think is kind of like a British Isles or a Scotland thing, because they have like these sheep Pokemon that and stuff like. I think it's like a Norwegian thing, because the legendary Pokemons are wolves. Maybe they're doing like a Norwegian mythological thing or something like that. Because I mean, the one thing I love about Pokemon is the mythology they have, because you got these like whole beautiful landscapes and all that, and they have these like myths like all about the legendary Pokemon that like control land, sea, sky, weather, future, time, past, time, space. Yeah, and so um, the gameplay is a bit different. It's kind of interesting. You don't have to like get like an experience share thing, which again I kind of like because all your Pokemon get to evolve quicker, and that I found kind of too easy because I wanted a little challenge in a Pokemon game. Yeah, I know a challenging thing in a kids game, but that's the thing. Pokemon is very different than a kids game. It's actually yeah, it's kind of different than what I think about it. It's uh, if you're a diehard Pokemon fan, you probably might like it, might not like it. It depends on your taste in the Pokemon generation. My favorite is Omega Ruby. I'm not gonna get rid of that game because that's my favorite. Um, yeah, I've been playing Pokemon since 5 years old. My first one being Pokemon Silver on the Game Boy, which I started out in the second generation, not the first generation. And I've been watching the anime ever since it aired on Cartoon Network. That I don't mind because that was actually my favorite cartoon as a kid growing up, or my favorite anime. And yeah, that was good. All right, and all right, Star Wars. Yeah, I'm playing about Pokemon versus Star Wars. Flip flop like that. It's kind of getting a little silly now. Then, Jedi Fallen Order. This was just like Pokemon Sword was kind of different from the regular Star Wars games because before Fallen Order, EA just did like a Star Wars Battlefront and Battlefront 2, which kind of get like mixed receptions now and then. But yeah, Jedi Fallen Order I heard was from the same guys that made Timefall, and I've heard that those games are good. I might do just play the Titanfall. I don't know, but yeah, this was a very different kind of Star Wars game. Okay, first you play as this like runaway Jedi when the this was like before the original movies, before the original Star Wars, and maybe George Lucas might have liked this game. I don't know. I'm not a George Lucas expert or anything like that, but yeah, this was kind of good game. It's yeah, it has the yeah I don't know how to explain it. It's kind of like Dark Souls meets Uncharted, but in the Star Wars universe. So it has challenging bosses, which is kind of fitting for a Dark Souls game or a Star Wars game, and it has the platforming abilities of the Uncharted franchise. And you have to go to like these certain ruins and landscapes to like find objects or characters in the Star Wars franchise. And that I kind of find really interesting because I don't know if Star Wars ever did a game like that. I mean, the best game that came out for Star Wars, in my opinion, was Knights of the Old Republic, and that was like an RPG kind of Star Wars game. But if you want, this has a few RPG elements for like it was kind of like God of War. Like if you defeat enemies or find artifacts or unlockable content, you gain experience points, which gives you like a point to upgrade your abilities in the Star Wars in the game. So if you like, you spend 1 point on one, what you call it, 1 point on the skill, and you learn that skill when you upgrade it to get you better health or better force powers. And oh yeah, they nailed the force powers. I mean, I'm not really close to the head, but when I was done playing, you wall jumped and you used like the force push that kind of like when you, that's kind of easy for fighting enemies and stuff like that, and you can like freeze time. That actually I find interesting to use. If I was a Jedi, I could like freeze time, like slow down time, and I could like move out of the way. But that was kind of cool. And and yeah, it can be really hard. Yeah, this I which is actually good if it's like a Dark Souls game because some people like the hard difficulty and all that. But they do have like easy enemies and all stuff like that, so it's kind of like Dark Souls. If it's like I was on Jedi Knight mode, so it had some hard bosses, it had some like easy enemies, so it was a good balance for me. Yeah, I do not like games that like have high difficulty, so I'm not a Dark Souls fan. So if you like Dark Souls, if you like Bloodborne, if you like what was another one, Nero, you might like this game. If you're a diehard Star Wars fan, you will like this game because it has all the Star Wars elements in it. It's kind of like a mix between the original Star Wars and the prequels. If you don't mind those, it takes place after the prequels, but it builds up the lore of the universe. I kind of like games that have like a lore in it, like God of War. I like that it was based on Greek mythology. In Halo, I liked the way it was talking about the rings and the covenant stuff like that and all that. And even in Pokemon, I actually like that there was this whole universe thing of the Earth was made by this one big Pokemon that gave it life and all that. That I found kind of interesting. Yeah, and this is kind of like a 10-minute video. This was actually longer than I was expecting, but I actually did like both of these games. They were both fun, and I hope you guys can enjoy them. If you like this video, hit the subscribe button for more and hit the bell for notifications. Leave a like if you like this video. If you want to learn more about the games, I'll send a link to their trailers or their walk to if you want to learn more about these games, I'll send a link to my I'll send a link to the videos that talk about them more. If more people will, I'm sure a lot of people have talked about these games more often than I have. So take care, and I'll see you guys next time.